Hi, this is Dr. Knotts again. I want to teach you in this lesson, lesson number 4, some variations of hand strikes. These are going to be from the animal forms, but you're also going to see similarities with such systems as Muay Thai, which is, crane fighting. You're going to see with Ishin Shwenjiru with the white crane system. But this is going to be primarily from the aspect of Kung Fu. Now, for these variations of the hands, you're going to use this part of the hand in striking with knife hands, this part of the hand with the system of the serpent. This is the dragon's head in dragon fist. This is the dragon's tail in dragon fist. This is a leopard, which strikes with this part of the hand and the back of the knuckles. Okay, leopard is a fast one. This is a crane head. Okay, all the fingers come together, back of the knuckles, the wrists. Okay, for crane. Now, of course, the tiger fist is going to be like this, and the tigers will strike with this and the palm. I'm going to introduce you to one where the fingers are slightly open. It's called a horse's hoof, because it only hits with this part of the hand, not the palm. The horse's hoof. And I had an individual, when I had just been out of the Army a few months, was back home, attacked me at my mom and dad's house. He was trying to break in, and I showed up there just as he was kicking his way into the house, and he came to attack me. And as he came down the stairs at me, I took and hit him with a horse's hoof, this part of the hand right here. Notice how I curl my fingers back. And he left the ground, and he flew about 10 feet through the air, about 10 feet away from me. And the horse's hoof, I hit him under the chin so hard that he landed over there. It was just one strike, and the battle was over. So a horse's hoof is a very powerful technique. And then, of course, there's the palm. And when you strike with a palm, you can do it with Buddha's palm, which is hands like this, or you can do it with a curl palm, which is a little bit more of the red sand hand palm strike. And then there's the splashing hand techniques, which is where you will use the circular aspect of the palm. So let's begin. I want to teach you, first of all, how to make a good knife hand. A good knife hand will have the fingertips bent just slightly. The thumb will be tight and the hand will be hard. Now, the first technique I'm going to show you is if somebody's approaching you, then you can bring the hand up straight like this and strike straight into their throat. Bring it back, down. So 1, 2. Ready? 1, 2. Okay, I'm slowing down so you can learn the technique, but I want you to do the technique as quick as you can. Okay? It can go in any direction, even behind you. Wham. Wham. You see? It comes up, it goes out. Now, we're going to do a variation on that. This time I want you to bring the hand up, strike it straight down. You would strike at this area with this technique right here. So up, just like you're brushing your hair back, because that little whip gives you the speed. Okay, nice and slow at first. Somebody's coming at me and they're going to strike me, I'll take and block up like this, wham, push their hand to the side, strike them to the side of the neck, reach up and grab them across the head like this, and throw them if I choose. Okay? Individuals in front of you, nice and slow. You can actually get a lot of speed out of this technique if you want. Now from this side, I'm going to show you how to do it from the other way. If I was to block a hand across like this, I could strike it down like that. In, give that a try. Block, strike. Block, strike. Okay, so that is a knife hand. It's very natural, very powerful. Next thing I want to teach you is called a ridge hand. This is part of the crane system. You're going to hit with this part of the hand. It's great for striking the temple. I once had to defend myself against a gang. There was about 30 to 40 plus of them, and they had me surrounded. And so I had to get out of the circle, and there was bodies laying everywhere by the time the police got there. So what I did was I used double hand techniques where I was knife handing as I was walking forward and ridge handing. And these are splashing hands with crane strikes. And as I was hitting 3, 4, 5 people at the same time. My daughter Jennifer was only about this big, was watching through the window. I didn't know she was awake at the time. But it saved my life, being able to use those techniques. So the proper way to do a ridge hand is it comes just like a wing, straight up, and you turn your body and you get the force. So if a punch is coming at your head, you would step and turn so the punch goes by, but you're going to hit them right in the side of the head. You notice how I drop my back leg when I do this. So you would turn, straight in. Now I had an individual try to assault me when I was teaching a person martial arts at my home, and he had came from a bar and was a bar fighter, and he went to attack me. My right leg is all bolted together. I was in a hip cast at the time. I pulled my student behind me, and the individual came rushing at me and threw a punch. I grabbed his hand, pulled it down into his knee because he tried to throw his knee up, and went just like this with a ridge hand across here. It blew his spleen out with one strike. He was unconscious from just one ridge hand striking him here. There's an incredible amount of force that's generated. It sends a wave into the individual. So, I want to teach you how to practice your ridge hands. So from here, I want you to breathe in, breathe out nice and easy. Swing it, come, knife hand, ridge hand, knife hand. See how they follow each other? Nice and slow at first. Then as you go, gradually pick up speed, get your technique down a little bit better. It's multi-directional. If somebody's coming behind me and I notice that they're coming upon me, you can use it multi-directional. Okay? So that's the ridge hand incorporated with the knife hand. Do you notice how they go together? Because as the white crane, this is the outside of the wing, inside of the wing. Next thing I want to show you is the crane head. Now, the crane head is where you bring all the fingertips together. Okay? It's different than a mantis strike. A mantis strike is more like this. And I studied praying mantis under Jeff Luker out of Springfield, Missouri. So, a crane, if you would like to do the double crane system, and I'll show you some of the configurations later, okay, is like this. A crane is perfect for striking straight underneath the chin. Okay? Striking here, and as you do it, you open up and then strike in with either a snake strike, or you can strike up and then in with a crane, and you'd aim for right here where the trachea is. So, you say, well, that's kind of limited. Well, say for instance, even if I'm being attacked from the side, I could take and do like this. Wham! And I step out of the way. You notice this is called a long arm technique. Long arm means you can hit from far away. Okay? Strike to the side of the head. Strike to the groin. Wham! Like that. You can strike a lot of things with an inverted crane. So, even if I was to block, strike to the side of the temple like this, wrap the arm, means bring it down, and strike to the top of the head, and then I would reach up behind the head and break it in with an elbow like this, come across, break his neck, and bend him over. A lot of things you can do. I'm going to show you crane system number 1. Crane system number 1, which goes along with the crane head, knife hand, the ridge hand. Okay? Crane system number one, you can come like this. Now, breathe in. As you do, bring your hands up just to breast height. Step out shoulder width with the left hand, or left foot. Push out. Now, drop the hands like this as you breathe in, look to your right, and as you do, pick the toes of the right foot up, bring them over like this, and as the toes set, bring the hands up like this, and this hand is right here above the groin, this one's here, in a crane head. You just did a block, okay? From this block position, I want to show you what you're going to do. So we're going to start all over again. Ready? Mosquitoes. So, drop it down, block up like this. Now from this point here, this is called a crab strike. Take your thumb, but it's actually the eagle's talon, strike it straight into the eye, grab the side of the head with your thumb in the person's eye, and you bring their head forward and down like this. Okay? From this point here, you take and turn back sideways, you strike back with the back fist like this, push them away. Other side. Okay, follow me. Now from here, I'm going to take and go back fist, push away, strike back. This is the second aspect. Bring the crane. The first was variation 1, this is variation 2. Bring the crane here. Variation 3. And as we go through the variations, it adds. You can have 198 different movements to this single first form when you're done. It's called the system of the crane. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, you know, that's sloppy, or that doesn't make sense, why you would change it. Well, the idea behind true Kung Fu is it's a dance. And that is you become the animal. An animal isn't stuck to rigidity. In karate, with karate forms, you're stuck to a rigidity of a form. Okay? Kung Fu, you're able to change as the spirit leads you, as your spirit leads you. Now, I don't want you channeling spirits. Jesus Christ is the only true Lord God. I worship Him, so I no longer channel spirits. So, that's your first set. I want you to remember, when you go to do the knife hand, brush your hair. Come up. Step back. Up, in. Okay? Also, one last thing I want to show you with the knife hand is the system of the eagle. And it's to break a breastplate or to break a bone. For instance, if you chopped right in here, you dislocate the shoulder. Is where you could step in and strike like this. Okay? Straight in with the knife hand. And you say, wow, it's very short. This is a shorthand technique. You're only going here. The extent here, and you're using the power of your body as you throw it. So it'll literally, from the bottom of my toe here, the ball of my foot, I'm going to channel the energy up through my body and use my body's weight and momentum to break. Okay? You can do it from just about any position. I pray that you've enjoyed this lesson.